Hello and welcome back to day number 84. My name is Mary, and today's story title is Gideon's Victory. Gideon's plan did not need a large army, but it needed a few careful, bold men who would do exactly as their leader commanded them. He gave each man a lamp, a pitcher, and a trumpet, and told the man just what was to be done with them. The lamp was lighted but was placed inside the pitcher, so it could not be seen. He divided his men into three companies, and very quietly led them down the mountain in the middle of the night and arranged them all around the camp of the Midianites. All at once, a great shout rang out in the darkness, "The sword of the Lord and of Gideon." After came a crash of breaking pitchers, and then a flash of light from every direction. The 300 men had given the shout and broken their pitchers, so that on every side lights were shining. The men blew their trumpets with a mighty noise, and the Midianites woke up to see enemies all around them. Lights beaming, swords flashing in the darkness, and the loud sound of the trumpets. They were filled with terror and thought only of escape, not of fighting. But whenever they turned, their enemies seemed to be standing. They trembled one another to death, fleeing from the Israelites. Their own land was in the east, across the river Jordan, and then ran that direction. Gideon thought the Midianites would turn toward their own lands if they were beaten in the battle, and he had made plans to cut off their flight, placing the 10,000 men in the camp on the sides of the valley leading to the Jordan. They killed many of the Midianites as they fled down the steep pass toward the river. Gideon had also asked the men of Ephraim, who had so far taken no part in the war, to hold the only place at the river where men could wade across. The Midianites who escaped from Gideon's men in the valley were now met by the Ephraimites at the river, and many more of them were slain. Among the slain were two princes of Midianites, Oreb and Zeb. A part of the Midianite army was able to get across the river and continue its flight toward the desert. But Gideon and his brave 300 followed closely after them, fought another battle with them, destroyed them utterly, and killed their two kings. After this great victory, the Israelites were freed forever from the Midianites, who never again ventured to leave their home in the desert to make war on the tribes of Israel. The tribe of Ephraim was one of the most powerful of the 12 tribes. Its leaders were quite displeased with Gideon because their part in the victory had been so small. They said to Gideon, "Why didn't you send word to us when you were calling for men to fight the Midianites?" But Gideon knew how to make a kind answer. He said to them, "What have I done? compared to you? Didn't you kill thousands of the Midianites at the crossing of Jordan? Didn't you take their two princes? What could my men have done without the help of your men? By gentle words of praise, Gideon made the men of Ephraim his friends. After this, as long as Gideon lived, he ruled as judge in Israel. The people wanted him to make himself a king. Rule over us as king, they said, and let your son be king after you, and his son king after him. But Gideon said, no, you have a king already, for the Lord God is the king of Israel. No one but God shall be king over these tribes. Of all the 15 judges of Israel, Gideon, the fifth judge, had the most courage, wisdom, and faith in God. In all the people of Israel had been like him, there would have been no worship of idols. Israel would have been strong and faithful to God. But as soon as Gideon died, and even before his death, his people began once more to turn away from the Lord to seek the idols that could give them no help. And that was the word of the Lord. Now we come to our discussion questions. Number 1, when did Gideon attack the Midianite army? When did Gideon attack the Midianite army? Number 2, what did the men carry with them? What did the men carry with them? Number 3, how did Gideon make the Ephraimites his friends? How did Gideon make the Ephraimites his friends? Number 4, why did Gideon refuse to be made king? Why did Gideon refuse to be made king? And that was the end of our discussion questions as well. Everything goes so fast, quickly, when you're having fun. Thank you again for another beautiful story. God bless you all, and may we see you soon again. Bye-bye for now.